Hello everyone, and welcome to the Dice Commando YouTube channel. I'm Andrew, with you here as always. This is the Commando Cast, a video cast about all things Star Wars Destiny. This video and others like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. Please show your support with a like and subscribe, and be sure to hit the bell notification icon so you don't miss any new videos. If you want to get involved with the channel, consider becoming a channel member. There are many benefits to channel membership, including access to our Discord, exclusive deck tech and strategy videos, and the opportunity to help create channel content. I want to sincerely thank all our channel members, as I truly couldn't do this without your support. You guys rock. Go Commando.
Hello Star Wars listening folks, welcome back to the Commando Cast. We have a whole week under our belts now. We have 9 spoilers from the upcoming set, high stakes, very, very exciting. So today I wanted to run down all of the week 1 spoilers. Hey folks, so welcome back. Hope your weekend was well. It was an interesting weekend around here, as you guys can all imagine after Friday's video. But I think that's why this last week has been so exciting, right? We're getting close. We're getting hope, right? At the end of the tunnel that things are going to get better. So I cannot wait for the release of this. I'm very, very excited. So today, for the approach of the spoilers, we're going to approach each spoiler basically. We're going to talk about it 2 ways. We're going to talk about it in the current meta, the way things are, and then, not in the current meta, but with the way things are right now, and then we'll also talk about if there are any relevance to if Vader gets put back to 20, because I think a lot of these, especially for this first one out of the gate, I think is relevant. So first one that we saw, this was from ARH's website itself. This is Ki-Adi-Mundi, Methodical Master. He's an 11 health Jedi hero, blue, of course. 1 melee, 2 melee, 1 focus, 2 focus, a resource, and a blank. After you play a card from your discard pile, you may give a character 1 shield. Power action, play a blue weapon or equipment from your discard pile. That's pretty strong, right? So he can recycle some. The most simple one that comes to mind is everybody's favorite overwrite fodder, which is the Jedi lightsaber. Right, throw that down, get your 2 shields. You overwrite it with something else, even a 2. Neiman a lot of times is what you'll do. And then you can pull it back the next round and make it a 3-shielder. So there's been a lot of talk on pairings with this guy. I think a lot of people were kind of hoping this guy might make Convergence Mace playable. I think that's reasonable. However, I think functionally Leia's just still better. Like at 16 points, I think Leia's still better. And then you can just pull stuff from the drink if you need it. Remember, the power action says play it, so you can overwrite, right? So if it's like, let's say you have a 2-drop out, so you could basically be recycling Jedi lightsabers. Like you could have a Jedi lightsaber down, overwrite it with a Jedi lightsaber, and then the next round, Jedi lightsaber again, right? I'm not saying that's the best play, but you can do that because it's play. It's not pay the cost of it. It's play. So as part of that, you can overwrite. So that's really pretty cool here. I think like I said, talking about this guy in context of Darth Vader, I do think is relevant because shields are, of course, especially big shields, right? And by big shields, where you're looking at, are they going to PA to take 1 shield away versus resolve a die? Probably not. But if you're sitting with 2 or 3 shields, and clearly this guy would be in some sort of shield focus deck, right? So I think that's relevant. If Darth Vader goes back to 20 and he becomes not as playable, then I think this guy does maybe see play. Not maybe. Right now, if you look at the blue 14s, you've got Luminara, who's cool, but we never really saw much play. Buryaga, who I haven't been able to get to work, really. So I think there's definitely a place at 14. He has options. The 2 focus is not irrelevant for obvious reasons. So I think this guy sees. I think people at least try this guy out of the gate, but I think his success is going to be very dependent upon how much shield hate there is out there. Right, so I think Darth Vader plays a direct role in that. Next, we have I Sense a Trap, and this is the first both of the events that we saw from Renewed Hope. They were basically reintroducing or announcing that Renew was going to be part of the set. So this one's a 1-drop blue hero event. Discard any number of cards from the top of your deck, then give a character shields equal to the number of cards discarded. So it's kind of reminds me of kind of like a Force illusion type of deal. I mean, not the same in any way, right? But and then the renew is interesting. So I'll go through both of these and we can kind of talk about renew. I know a lot of people are nervous about that. I think it's pretty cool. So this card, right, in a Vader meta, I think this card's pretty worthless. If not, then I think it may have value. We will have to see. It's still a pretty heavy cost. I think, given that you could just play Leia and like flip a 2. But next we have Dissuade. This is also a Renew 2. It's a 1-cost blue hero event. Spot a blue character to remove a non-blue die. I think this one's obviously way more functional than the last one, no question about it. Yeah, I don't know how much more we need to say there. It's really good. Now let's talk about Renew for a second. I know a lot of people are nervous about it because it's basically another resource. But I think it's a good resource to explore. I mean, most other games, not most, but there are many other games who have used this type of thing to pretty significant success. I think that I think that it'll work here. I know that there's a lot of people that's like, well, that this is just officially killed Mill, and like I understand the argument. I disagree with it though, right? Because Mill works different in this game than it does in other games, right? In that like Mill is basically an aggro. In this game, Mill is basically an aggro type thing, or not really aggro, but what you're trying to do is you're attacking their hand, and even if so, yes, you can. It gives you something to play when your hand is out of cards. I completely grant you that, right? But it doesn't like save you, right? So because they're still attacking your deck and you're still out of cards in your hand, so functionally it gives you like a little bit of removal. I mean, and of course, the ARH team will have to be careful with the types of cards that they allow it, but being able to remove a die for 2 resources from your discard zone, like I don't, paying 2 to remove a non-blue die is pretty awful. And of course you'll do it in a pinch, but like this isn't like destroying Mill. You know what I mean? So I think as long as cards like this and cards like the previous one we see, it's like I think as long as the renew type things within that zone, and it's not like do 2 damage, renew 2, do 2 damage. Like that's that's a completely different argument. So I think renew's going to be just okay. All right, so in all fairness, I did a little cast about Dengar and how awesome he is. So we won't go through him too much because you can go check that out. But so he's 14 health for 14, 18, 22, so you can play him double elite for 3 die. 2 gun, 3 gun, 2 melee, 2 disrupt, 2 shield, and a blank. He has a PA that you can play an ambush or play upgrade on him, giving it ambush, which isn't like you're not playing a weapon and activating or something like that, because that would be like a Sabine. You're just giving a weapon ambush. I don't think we really have any weapons out there with ambush anyway that are like truly relevant in this, but it doesn't matter because you can't stack ambush. And then after you activate him, this is the big one with him. After you activate him, if 1 or more of his character dice showing damage, you can give him a resource. That's pretty good, right? So a lot of discussion around this guy has been power creep, and I don't think so. To be clear, everybody knows that I mean the power creep is clear, but I don't think Mando is example of that. Like I think there's an argument to be made that Hondo's still better. So that's what I'm saying is like, regardless of where we're at in terms of power creep and the overall scheme of the life of Destiny, I don't think Mando's it, right? So I think he's perfectly well balanced. He has to have that 14 health, otherwise he's completely unplayable at 22. I think there's going to be a lot of plays out, or a lot of different team comps out of this. I think it's going to be really awesome to see where he falls. And I also think that I said I will look at it from a Vader, yes Vader, no Vader, and like I don't know that really matters in this case. I mean, his 2 shield side maybe you don't care about, but like if you're taking 2 shields on this guy, you're probably not getting done what you want to anyway with his 14 health. So because he's still going to be your main damage dealer. So I think that this guy, I think that in a Vader meta, I think he puts pressure on Vader. I think he does. And he can live past round 2. That's the thing, right? So, and then does Vader go for his off buddy just to try and get the double power? Get both his power actions. I think maybe he does, but then he has to leave Mando on the whole time. So, I think this guy plays really well into a Vader meta, so that would be kind of an argument for leaving Vader where he is. Razor Crest, I admit, I was pretty wrong about this, I think, on my first impression. Like, the die sides are pretty good for, 2 resource for that die is pretty good. I was, part of the reason I think I wasn't down on this. Like I said, it was pretty good. It's just, I still don't think it's a Mando card, but I hadn't really thought about mods because, yeah, there are still mods around. So I think that you could try and do something. I think that you could try and do something there where you almost do like a vehicle reset type of deal. The only one I can think of for that right now is Hera, because I think if you're playing Admiral for resets, you're probably doing something different. But it's a cool card, and just because it doesn't work with Mando doesn't mean it's bad. It's actually a really strong card. This card I was not secret by. I think this one we'll have to see how. We'll have to see how the interactions work with this one. But this one can do some serious damage. Like if there's consistently ways to put, like Bucket, I don't think can do this, right? Because Bucket has to be a support, I'm pretty sure. So we'll have to see how repeatable this is. But this card seems pretty bonkers. I am a little surprised that it's not like remove any number of resources to deal damage to that many characters or something like that, right? But this is one resource. Like one resource can hit 4 characters, one resource can hit 2 characters. So this thing's this thing's gonna be pretty good. Mando's in a really good spot, I think, with guns because he's got the DL-18, I think, from Faltering Allegiances. I think that's it. Yeah, I'll put it up, but I think it's that one. So he's got that. He has this. Obviously, has Vibro Sword. He's got a really cool upgrade package to start with. That's outside of him pairing up with different colors. So Executioner Axe, like he's got all sorts of toys. Right, moving into the spoilers. I'm sorry, I forgot actually to say that the spoilers, the Mando spoilers were from I Rebel. Just moving into the Red Villain spoilers, that is coming out of our friends over On the Censors. This is Moff Gideon, Ruthless Mastermind. He is a 12 health character leader, red villain, of course. 2 focus, 1 disrupt, 2 discard, 1 resource, and 2 resources. It's so the image I have right now only has 1 resource, but he actually has 2 resources. That's since been corrected. I just don't have the image. And a blank. Detect 2. After you activate this character, you may play an opponent's detected weapon or vehicle for free, then deal indirect to yourself equal to half its cost rounded up. After the action phase ends, if that card's still in play, return it to its owner's hand. So you just want to remind people that you can overwrite this stuff, right? So you can pull their upgrade away, whatever it may be, and then overwrite it with the weapon, with the upgrade that you want in your hand, and save yourself the cash, right? Now you have to take the indirect for it, of course, but I think you're set up for that. And in that case, then it does not go to their hand. You also have, the 2 battlefields that are relevant here. You have Abandoned Refinery, you have Watto's Shop, and plays like that to basically get cash out of it. This guy's also leader, so like Megas is a thing, right? Now, obviously, you can't overwrite supports and all that. So I think probably Gideon. I think probably you want to try and get him with a yellow character, right? So that you can play Vibro Sword, right? Because that gives you the better overwrites is what I'm thinking, right? Like, does Jango Fett maybe? I know that's kind of weird. I don't know. That might be too weird. I don't know, but there are options out there. You could play him with Boba, I guess, but probably Jango, because then you can try and do the back to thing, right? You throw the stuff on Jango, and then you override it. You get more money, with your equipment. Get Jango all sorts of loaded up. I think that's probably the play, because Moff with this 12 health, you can actually be throwing it on him. I mean, Moff on his own he's not going to win any games on his own, but I think he's a pretty strong support character. I mean, he better be at 16 points, right? But I think there's a lot of play here, and I think he's going to be one of these like mid to late meta things where somebody's been kind of working on him behind the scenes, and then suddenly the deck shows up in something and wins something. And then it'll be everywhere, right? So this is a really cool design. Props to the ARH folks over there, and Aaron and his team. Nicely done, guys. All right, next we have Cruel Tactician. This is the red villain upgrade title. Titles are scary. 2 indirect, 1 focus, 2 focus, discard blank. Unique red character only, but you are in command now is still a thing. After you play this upgrade, you may deal 1 damage to one of your characters, resolve one of its character or upgrade dice, increasing its value by 1. That probably doesn't suck on like a discard. Yeah, I don't know, but it's a may. You don't have to do it, right? So, and obviously, if you're playing, like, I don't know that Gideon does this, but like, Veers probably doesn't hate it with like a snowtrooper or something like that, right? And also getting more focus on the table for those trooper decks. Could even do it, I suppose, with Pyre or something like that. So this is interesting. We'll have to see how it flushes out. I mean, I don't know that being a title in this case is necessarily relevant. Just that it is. But it's kind of a cool little card in of itself. And the last card of the week is Danger Close. This is a 0-cost villain red event. Deal 1 indirect to yourself to play a vehicle or artillery from your discard pile, decreasing its cost by 1. So very interesting from like a recycling standpoint. I don't have any super great examples of this where this would come in quite useful yet, but because like Viper, I'm just thinking of the ones that you do consume, because it has to be a vehicle or artillery, right? I can't even, because that's a VPD's a droid, so I guess it's basically just if you've had to discard and get it back. I guess this lets you. I guess it's kind of like a weird logistics, right, where you can kind of chuck in advance and then pull it back and trade in indirect for a resource. Depending on early or late, that could be a thing. I don't know. It does seem that, like, again, money's not that hard to come by these days. So I don't know that using this purely as a logistics is really the right, or a logistics or a tech team or something like that. You guys know what I mean. I don't know that that's necessarily the best play, or that's what puts this in. I don't know that that's what makes this a good card. Like, I would think that if this ends up being a good card, there has to be something where, like, you're burning and trying to recycle or something like that. So I don't know. That's it. So, I said, the Vader thing really only affects the shields thing for the most part. I think Den's probably, Mando's probably fine either way. So yeah, that's those are the spoilers for the week. Now I know the day this is going up Monday, and I know Echo Base, they've already announced that they have some spoilers coming later today, meaning the day this is going up. So that should be exciting. Kickoff week number 2. I have spoilers at the end of this week, so that's very exciting as well. So stay tuned for week 2. Nothing else, folks. Go Commando.